thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing the Daily Sun. Go
yes,
ahead,
I have. So the Pan-Yoruba Socio-Political Organization, Afenifere, has called for caution over a bill seeking to confer indigenship on a person who has stayed in a particular place for upward of 10 years. They're saying this to avoid the possibility of aggravating ethnic tension and violence. So this bill, it's passed its second reading, House of Reps, and this is to amend the amendment of certain sections of the Nigeria's 1999 Constitution, and this particular one is sponsored by the Deputy Speaker of the House, Honorable Benjamin Okezie-Kalu, and 6 other lawmakers. And it's the Indigenous Status Bill. It seeks to grant indigenous status and rights on anyone who has lived in a particular area for 10 years or on a woman who is married to an indigene of the area. So Afenifere is saying people will need to, he's cautioning them that this could aggravate some ethnic tension. But we also have the Sultan of Sokoto, who is advocating for the elimination of the policy that tends to draw a distinction between indigenes and non-indigenes in any part of the country. He said that the country should emulate Governor Ahmed Aliyu by abolishing the non-indigene status in their respective states. So this indigene status bill seeks to alter, some sections. We have one of it is that if a citizen of Nigeria is an indigene of a state, if he was born in that state and has lived in the state for a continuous period of at least 10 years, or was not born in the state but has resided in the local government area of that state for the continuous period of at least 10 years and can provide evidence of tax payment in that state for at least 10 years. There's another one that applies to a person under this section is entitled to apply to the local government chairman for a certificate of indigenship of a state. Then a woman who is married to an indigene of a state different from her state of origin for at least 5 years becomes an indigene of that state and is entitled to all rights and privileges of an indigene of that state in case of employment, appointment or election into any political or public office. And then in the case of divorce or death of his spouse, a woman remains an indigene if there were children born of the marriage or not, or she elects to remain an indigene of the state. So this is what Afenifere is saying. You people calm down, but there are other people who think this is something that should be pushed. What do you guys think?
Interesting. Okay, another story here. Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nwaeke, has dismissed the baseless and diversionary rumors about his collapse. Said they said that he was being rushed abroad. He said, let me quote him.
Please.
That there was no time he collapsed and there was no time anybody took him overseas for treatment. Unfortunately, he said it is human beings that will collapse if there's any problem with their health. Unfortunately, I did not collapse. And I did not show any sign that I have any health problems. As you have seen, I am healthier than most of them who carry that room. I can assure you that I will write their condolence letters. The minister said he was out inspecting road projects when the rumor about his collapse started. I mean, it was really, everybody was passing that. Unfortunately, I didn't even get that message.
Oh, I saw
I was just hearing about
the part where he said, I will sign their condolence letters.
Wike. Okay.
So I want to take the story. It's the major headline: petrol marketers. The marketers are demanding probe of the Naira for crude deal. The Petrol Product Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria, Petruan, they have asked the Minister for Petroleum, Heidi Kindukubiri, to do an investigation. They want him to probe the Naira for crude oil deal to be sure that it was favorable. They also are seeking that a decisive action needs to be taken, because the speculation is that since they ended the Naira for crude deal, the likelihood is price of petrol might go up, and they want, according to them, they are concerned about they want the regulators to be on high alert and conduct laboratory analysis on importation of petrol so that we're sure it's good quality. They also want that there is a consistency and efficiency in our production, like availability of petrol. We don't want queues again in the country. So they are asking that the information be made public when they do the probe of the Naira for crude deal, and that there should be a consistency plan around it. It was a bit worrisome about 2 weeks ago when we heard that the Naira for crude deal might be cancelled and it will impact on price of petrol, and it will seem like we did not even have a structure to ensure there is seamless flow. So the Petron are also sharing that concern, and I think it is a valid one for Nigerians to be sure that there's consistent flow of petrol from all our filling stations, and it is good quality petrol, even as we open borders for imports to come in.
Okay, moving on how to Vanguard. Why bid to recall Akpotedon failed by INEC? Rivers Sole Administrator cancels pending procurement tender processes. Senate to consider tax reform bills after resumption, says Senator Bamidele. Uromi killings, political leadership of Edo, Kano have settled issues, says Defense Headquarters. Day 2 of Independence Bridge closure, chaos as Lagosians groan and blame government. Tribunal victory, Benin stands still for Gweholo as Oba praise. Okay, which story are we starting with?
I have the Natasha story.
You took your time.
I took my time, actually. So, according to, no, I'm not going to take it from any partisan side. INEC is saying why the bid to recall the Senator Akpotedon Uduaghan failed, and he's stating it that the recall process did not conform with Section 69 sub A of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which requires that at least a certain number of votes, at least more than half of the number of registered voters in her constituency must be acquired, which, if done, would give, they said, the registered number of voters in the senatorial district, in the Kogi Central Senatorial District, is 474,554, and half of that would have been 277 plus 1 vote, which will be 278 votes. But now, when the registered signatures came in and the thumbprints came in, INEC verified each, and they were only able to verify up to about 132 signatures and thumbprints, which made it fall short about 43% of that required vote. So they are short of 29,146 signatures and thumbprints. And so INEC said it didn't conform with that, and they had promised that they would do this recall with all fairness. So they ensured that the petitioners complied with the requirements of the submission of the petition, first of all. Secondly, they notified the members who sought to be recalled in writing and copied the presiding officer of the Senate simultaneously and published the notice on their website. Thirdly, they informed Nigerians of the next step that would be carefully to ascertain the number of signatures and thumbprints to ensure that the petition complies with the requirements of the law. And so, since this could not be achieved, they couldn't achieve the half of the registered voters of the constituency, the recall process had to fail. And Akpotedon on our own part is saying INEC should not have even entertained that from the onset. The Kogi Central constituents on their own part are thankful to INEC for recognizing at least. But
the system works.
Yes.
We'll not applaud
so
it.
each thumbprint, when we're registering for our voters card and they're making us to do 5 fingers, 4 fingers, this was something like this. So that somebody not used to a pancane to thumbprint for.
Let me take our roadmap before I close, because it's important. So yesterday, after all the back and forth concerning the Independence Bridge, our able Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, went there himself to see. Of course, people were telling him that the minister had said they should reopen. And he said, my dear brother, you are not on ground. You are over there. We were here. It has been excavated. There's no way that's going to happen. So he specifically spoke to Lagosians, saying that obviously that because of the excavation, there's nothing that can be done. Because even to put it back how it was, it's going to take about 2 weeks. It doesn't make any sense. So he says, I would like to advise our citizens that this type of thing happens. There's no easier time to bite a bitter pill. That if you don't have any business in Victoria Island, please don't come this way. Let's start having meetings in Zoom and remotely. Work from home the best you can. He said, I want to assure you that we're going to see a lot of LASTMA officials on the road. They will work around the clock and ensure that there's the smooth flow of traffic. So really and truly, the work must go on. There's no reopening of that bridge. It's going to be, because he said that they have information that bridge in 3 years can become dangerous to people.
So the LASTMA officials that they promised, that was a particular emphasis should be on the Aki Adeshola at the Falomore Bridge end of town.
I mean, I drove there today. No,
It was easy for me going home yesterday, but I did not see
when I'm going back.
officials.
No, coming in is not the
Coming
issue.
in.
It's
I mean, I
leaving
took a
out.
bike yesterday now, the day before.
No,
No,
we
that was day
coming through
before.
CMS.
Yes.
It was in
Well, for
crisis.
those of us
That
coming
bridge
to
is open.
CMS, that's fine. We can come in. It's leaving that is a huge problem.
So,
I left
should
here at
please,
11:30.
can
I didn't get home until 5 p.m. on the
Can
day.
On
we
Wednesday.
try to make it less than 2 months though? Maybe they work at night, have
You know,
lights.
But when you want to swim in
when
the
you
ocean,
become an engineer,
they should do a detailed
like
work.
You know, that's
do it.
another
But for
thing.
now, that you are not
We
the
were
engineer.
asking. I did not.
No,
my question was, I don't need to be an engineer to ask a
Okay.
question. I can
Okay.
ask. They say 2 months closure. Is it possible for us to close it
All I
only for
know
1
is
month?
they should take 6 months and do a thorough job.
As a Nigerian who believes
I don't
this, who
allow.
believes that we are being guided by people who actually know what they are doing, I believe that they would have considered that option of doing it at night, because it's not a particularly
Well, it's good to
novel
ask.
idea to do it at night.
Well,
it's good to ask.
It's good
Night
to ask,
care.
and for me, I would like them to make sure.
Asking for
bridge.
Nigeria.
I want to make
That's
sure-
what Nigerians are asking.
Okay, me,
So
I
I'm
want to
responding
make
for
sure that they
them knowing
bake-
how they respond. Yes,
I
Mariam.
want to make sure that they bake it very well before we
Yes.
start flying that bridge.
Thank
Please
you. It's
don't
a bridge.
hurry, and then please
thank you.
make
A
sure
bridge
the
across
sun
the
comes
Atlantis.
out. And
It's a
breaks
bridge
it.
across the Atlantic. I
For
don't
those
want
of you
to
that
talk to
think you
the
have this
mermaid.
novel idea.
Me, Feki Yemoja, very early time soon. Please bake the bridge, as Miriam said. Let it be concrete and well done.
Okay, that is all
I
we
feel well
can
done.
take on this segment. It's our Friday, and we have a celebrity guest. But first, let's take our sponsor as our special feature. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.